Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Noxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1, also known as the blue team in the northwest corner of the map. Ending with Team 2, also known as the red team in the southeast. Starting off with Team 1's Southwestern player, we have in Royal Blue, it is Drimmer playing as a Siren. He is a 2091 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To his northeast, we have in States Blue, it is Great Shrek. I will probably call him Great Shark just by accident because it looks like Shark, but it is Shrek. He's playing as a Seraphim. He is a 1502 rated. And running out Team 1's lineup in Amethyst Purple is Gaba Gaba playing as a Seraphim as well. He is almost a 1200 at 1199. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have two Seraphim in the north and a Cybran in the south. No UEF and no Aeon Tech for Team 1. Running up for Team 2's northeastern player in Chevy Crimson. It is no red for you in Chevy Crimson. So it's a red color, at least, on the red team. That makes sense, at least. He is 1688 rated. He is the highest rated player on Team 2. Again, playing as a Cybran. To his south in orange color. Orange, it is Pineapples 3. So there's 3 pineapples there in that Seraphim chassis. ACU, I guess. He is, again, a Seraphim as a 1495 rated. And to his west in Ruby Red, we have the Cybran of Hugh Janus. He is a 1642 rated. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Cybrans and 1 Seraphim in the back line, which means Team 1 and Team 2 do not have Aeon and UEF tech, which means apologies to those loyal to the Princess and apologies to those loyal to the Old Earth Empire. Hopefully you enjoyed the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at, if I can find the button for it, there we go. It is not a lot. Not even 10,000 mass on the map. But to be fair, with 6 players only, it makes it out to be about 1.6-ish. So it's definitely worth going after, of course. Major clumpage doesn't really exist, and there's really nothing on the northeast and southwestern corners, just a bunch of water. And then most of the reclaim kind of resides in the main bases of our players, so no real scavenging. But I guess there's a little bit of reclaim there, and then over there, of course, opposite that location. Take a look at the extra mechs locations on the map, the expansionary mechs locations. We have a quad mechs over here to the west, and then another quad mechs in the northeast with a tri just south of that. And that's pretty much it in terms of mechs. There's not a terrible amount of one-offs. There are some kind of dotted in the ponds up in the northeast and the southwest. There's a little bit kind of dotted here and there, but there's really not a lot of mexes on the map. So I expect our players to be a little bit more concerned with going for every bit of reclaim, every bit of not generate, but artificial mass, being mass fabs and RAS and all that sort of thing, and just getting their ecos at least as fast as possible, high as possible, because every bit of mass may end up being a factor in this game. We do see T1 Navy has been established by Drimmer in the southwest pond thing. There are no passable avenues to have Navy across the middle here. Maybe. No, because this would be that right there, that little avenue. I mean, no, there's no way you can get Navy across there, so it's going to be isolated plans in the northeast and the southwest. No transversal units there. Transversal? I don't know. Some trans moving across the map word thing. We do see Team 2's players of not Drimmer, but no red for you going in the water here. And then also in the southwest, we see they have facilities established for Janus as well. Looks like most likely going to be just 2 naval players for each team with an air player, which definitely makes sense given just kind of the really weird land archipelago thing that these players have available to them. Land units probably aren't going to be a heavy focus. Maybe transporting units to the other side of the map, getting some engineers, getting facilities there, and then sending them. That would make more sense, but building them and then sending them over is probably going to be a heavy toll. So focusing more on Navy and getting units in these little kind of crevices definitely going to be important for both teams. And both teams have access to missile tech on board their cruisers because at least one player on each team is Seraphim. I will note, though, that Pineapples 3 is the air player and he is Seraphim. So in order for Team 2's other two players to get those cruiser missile tech, they have to give over some engineers for naval facilities or build their own and just transfer the units over. That also works. Speaking of dropping units on the front doors, we have no red for you dealing with an invasion from Team 1's Great Shrek. We do see one facility was done and a second was on its way, but with that only one T1 PD and a couple of units produced, that will be denied. Lovely attempt, but it did not last long. Southwestern corner, a couple of interceptors having a disagreement about color schemes, and T2 Navy already done for Gava Gava. And maybe we'll see some cruises very, very early in the game. 8 minutes, we already have T2 Navy. I feel like that is decently early to have it. That's going to be a little bit of a boon to Team 1. He is the rearguard airstrike player, at least he's further back, so a little bit of a slowdown for him for air, which Team 2 has T2 air online already. So again, a little bit more Navy for Team 1, a little bit more air for Team 2. That might make all the difference one way or the other. We'll just have to see how it does make said difference. Taking a look, of course, at where the other player on Team 1 is, being Great Shark. He's still sitting in his main base hanging out. Nothing too crazy happening. He's just microing his forces with his comm next door. And one player on each team, each side of the map for Team 2. Definitely makes sense. Not grouped together like Team 1 is, at least currently. And then regardless, that player still staying in his base. Is he going for T3? He is going for T3 already, so that's going to be a huge benefit. Probably go early strat, and that could really devastate Team 1's eco. There's, main base mechs is here, obviously there and there, as well as, of course, quad mechs positions and tri-mechs positions as well. So there's a lot of opportunities for grabbing multiple mechs with one bombing run. That'll be really nice for Team 1 getting a lead. Sorry, for Team 2 getting a lead in the eco department. T2 Navy is also done for no red for you on the eastern side. We have a little bit of pushing in from Team 2's Janus, trying to hold back Team 1, but with the T2 destroyer online, that little Team 1 force is not going to be enough to push back anymore. So I expect to see T2 Navy on the rise. Yep, we do see it. It has been started by Team 2's Janus. Bombers over the top going after engineers, it looked like, just to slow down the engineering efforts of Team 1, just to do as much as they can to, again, just drive back Team 1's ability to build naval units, because they're probably going to try to push as much as they can on the southwestern side. We don't see as much on the northeastern side, partly because Team 2 has already grabbed it for the most part, and partly because we don't have Great Shark with his comm on the front lines microing those forces, or attempting to micro those forces. I just do also think that No Red for You was a little bit faster on the jump, was able to grab this section of the map earlier. I would not be surprised to see soon some amphibious destroyers on the land for Team 2's No Red for You. We'll just see if he ends up going that route or not. Team 1's fleet has arrived at the T2 Naval Headquarters, and we see that doesn't look like there's a whole lot here. They will wipe out the remaining engineers at a bare minimum. There is now a destroyer about to be finished. More spam coming online, of course, from the east with all those facilities there. There is a fleet hanging back. Don't know why they're not moving in to defend the position, but they're doing something over there, I guess. That destroyer is en route now, and we'll see if it makes all the difference or not. You see the destroyer is now done for Team 2's Janus, and that should be enough to deal with all this. I do hear a strap bomber somewhere. Where is it? I heard it. And there it is in the north. Strap bomber dropping another payload. Going to drop on the T2 air facility that's being built as we speak. Going to take a couple more bombs to wipe it out entirely. A couple of T2 fighter bomber Corsair, Natha's inbound to try to catch up to that bomber. Bomber's already wiped out 8 facilities, 600 mass killed. It's something. It's not a lot of mass killed, but it's something. Interceptor is able to intercept a little bit. Bomber is taking heavy damage. Bomber will be wiped out, but it will drop. It will not drop one more payload. It's definitely not the best bomber, that's for sure. But it was a lovely attempt at a bare minimum. And if he gets a second one online, that might be able to recoup some losses of the first one. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Destroyer is on the shoreline. Actually, no, that's a cruiser. Never mind. Cruiser on the shoreline moving in to soon grab that little bit of mexes there. In terms of eco at 14 minutes, We have Team 1 at 260, Team 2 at 260 as well, so staying roughly lockstep with one another there. And again, we'll note that Team 2 has had Navy on lock on the northeastern side for a little bit while now. Another destroyer going to be produced. We have Team 1 putting more and more pressure. Torpedo being built on Janus is calm. The one thing I don't like about that upgrade is there's not a lot of bang for your buck after like 20-something minutes, especially if you don't have nano. If you have cloaking, it helps a ton. But even then, it's a heavy investment to go for cloaking for a torpedo upgrade, because usually at that point, the other team either has just spy planes just kind of circling around roughly. They might have an Omni sensor online. There's a lot of things that could already be online at that point when players would go for cloaking. But earlier on, torpedo was great. But it does have to be careful about these destroyers, because of course every destroyer in the game has those torpedoes on board. A little bit of some Northas inbound from Team 1. Those get annihilated immediately by interceptors and ASF from Team 2. And T3 started for Pineapple as we speak. T3 is done for Team 1. And he's producing his own ASF. So first and only bomber so far. And it does look like Team 2 has landed troops on the northern side, it being, of course, pseudo-naval units. But he moves in, grabs a couple of mechs, and goes, nah, I'm good, and then goes home. So lovely use there. He doesn't overextend. He just does enough damage and then says, nah, it's, like I said, good enough. Calls it a day. There are a couple of interceptors and ASFs battling one another here. A little bit hard to tell who's who in terms of interceptors and ASFs, but looks like Team 1 might soon have the upper hand with some Nathas coming in to assist. There are still ASFs here. That might be the end of the engagement for the most part. There's a cruiser in there as well. Looks like Team 2 wins it, but not by much. So most of their forces got wiped out anyways, and Team 2 is already rebuilding ASFs anyway. So again, hey, it's a small win, and small wins can add up to big wins. But we'll see what Team 1 ends up doing with a slight advantage in air for the time being. We do see a couple of Nathas inbound from Team 2 anyways, going after more and more mexes for Great Shrek. Land invasion, proper land invasion is coming online here for No Red for You, and I feel like soon Team 1 might be eyeing to do the same thing down here. It's just going to take them a little bit longer to get to that position right now versus where Team 2 has had a huge advantage. No Red for You has been able to just a little bit eco up, not really worry about a lot of things, and focus more on getting troops and claiming that position for himself and keeping it, hopefully for, he thinks, the rest of the match, but we'll see if he does or not. T2 is started and halfway done here for Janus in the south. Torpedo is done as we speak. So he's going to be able to get a little bit more hit points. I would love to see him go for nano at a bare minimum, but at least getting T2 gives him 2,000 additional hit points to play with. So it gives him a little bit extra cushion. Laser weapons going after the remaining frigates from Team 2, and the destroyers being shot at by missiles because the destroyers aren't moving. And look at all these laser weapons being thrown together for Team 1. We do see a little bit of sending units over to Drimmer to micro. We're seeing he's producing his own destroyers, but some of the ones being produced by... Who's that? That is Gaba Gaba. Actually, is that Gaba Gaba? No, that is Gaba Gaba. Okay. Is being donated over to Drimmer. Yeah. I'm currently on my mobile setup because I'm currently on a work trip, so the screen's a little bit smaller than I'm used to, so apologies if I'm having a little bit of struggle fest dealing with all of that looking at whatnot. But, you know, I'd rather have a game for everybody to watch than not have a game, so there's that. Work trip won't be too long though, only a couple of days. So it'll be back to regularly scheduled stuff, or regularly scheduled environment here shortly. 21-ish minutes on the clock. Team 1 at 370, Team 2 470, so a little bit in favor for Team 1. That trend could change if they can knock out this position for Team 2. The only problem is that I don't know how long that will take. We do see T3 Air also online for Great Shrek, so he does have access to ASFs, and he's producing Nathas as we speak, but it's nice to have those ASFs just in case to be able to fight back in the air in any way, shape, or form. And again, the trend is definitely favoring Team 1. It's essentially 2 players. We see a little bit of assistance, of course, from Gava Gava, but it's mainly from Drimmer. But he's getting that little bit of assistance, and that little bit is making a actual significant difference with all of these destroyers now online. We do see some torp bombers online for Team 2 as well. Those are thinning out those destroyers quite nicely. The ASFs for Team 1 need to respond sooner rather than later because a lot of those destroyers are being chewed up by those bombers, and there's ASFs here already here to guard them. There are some cruisers now approaching, and they're ripping apart the remaining bombers, but then another wave will be built or constructed or manufactured or whatever word you want to use, and then they'll probably go after those cruisers here shortly. The comm of Team 2's Janus has moved into position, and it looks like he does have stealth online, so that's helping out. Another set of hit points on board. He's up to 14,000 now. And he has his torpedo and trying to do some damage. He might get some veterancy, maybe 1, maybe 2. But again, the longer he stays on the front line like this, the worse it's going to be for him. Just because of the fact that there's so much firepower here that can be brought to bear shortly. With, again, all of the passive torpedo-capable ships in the area. We have just the main destroyers, but there are a sub or 2 mixed in there. And I wouldn't be surprised to see sub-hunters or something from Team or sub-killers here shortly. And Hugh Janus again trying to stay behind his forces as much as possible, not be the main focus. I don't know if Team 1 even knows he's there. No, because it's stealth. They can't. Oh, no, he appears for a brief moment and then disappears. Appears for a brief moment and then disappears. So they kind of know he's there. They just don't know that he's there for long. And he disappears and he comes back and he disappears. This is what Team 2 can see. And looks like there's been a ping asking for some assistance on that western front from Janus. T2 Navy is going to be hit once again, and it's going to be lost. There it goes. A Salem gets off the assembly line at the last moment, but it's not going to be a very much long life for him. He got just ambushed incredibly quickly there, and there goes that base. We do see the comm is fleeing. He knows this western side is gone. And now the land invasion will mimic what Team 2 has been up to for a moment. We see a lot of spam up here to the northeast. I'm kind of surprised that I don't see any T2 or even T3 land up here. Get bricks, get, loyalists, that sort of thing. I do like the fire beetles kind of spreading out a little bit. I do like that. Acting as a kind of an early warning system almost. Team 1 probably knows, they probably knows they're there. They just don't know what they are. They just know that there's some sort of unit there. And Janus might take some damage from this inbound fleet from Team 1. There's, again, destroyers that can go on the shore. And there's the laser weapons. He is in range. 25 minutes on the clock. Might see the first player dead in the game. We'll see if he gets out of there, if they let him flee or not. Cruisers starting to wipe out all of the stationary forces and structures there. We do see some Team D being built. If he can get behind the Team D line, he might be good for a little while longer. And he might even get a transport to help pick him up and get him out of danger sooner rather than later as well. Do see a couple of Wagners on the northern side. Transport with a couple of Team 1 Zooey inbound from Pineapples. And he's going to drop... He's going to drop in the base or drop near the base. If he can take out the Pigeon, that would be big. But it looks like he's going to go all the way further back. I don't know if that's really going to work. We do see an ASF already behind. Transport does drop off the payload. There's already Team 1 bombers here and a T2 gunship. This mech has already been eliminated anyways. So I don't know if that was really worth it. But, if it was there, it would have been worth it. But looks like he already killed that off earlier, so it didn't really matter. Team 1 and Team 2 now pretty close to one another. Actually tied right this second. 450 mass income for both teams. Land invasion in the south has commenced. Team 1 Medusa being deployed. They have EMP weapons on board, so they're able to slow down those Thalems just a little bit. And torp bombers are not going to help out against land units, but they are going to go after hopefully the cruisers. But no, they're targeting the mermaids first, and then maybe the cruisers after that. How's the air production? Expanding upon that for Team 2's Pineapples. Team 1 not as much. For Gava Gava, we see, I think, a tiny smidgen of that here for Great Shrek, but he's more focused on P-gens and mass fabs and that sort of thing. I don't blame him. You need the mass to produce the stuff, but if you can't produce anything because you don't have any facilities, that also is kind of a pain. And the last remaining Salem is going to be wiped up by a nice little tiny Medusa. There he goes. And the laser weapons cannot strike because of the tiny bit of hill, but I don't think the Medusa can get into range without being shot at anyway, so it's kind of just the net zero situation. We do see some gunships and torp bombers inbound as well from Pineapples to assist in that endeavor to push back Team 1. Team 2 is probably not going to get back Navy. It's just probably not going to happen. You know, Team 1 has had huge problems in the Northeast, and they definitely want to cause similar problems in the South. Which I feel like they could probably just push back if they had some... They do have T3 land units now, and they're going for sniper bots. That's going to be nice, just passively wiping out all of those weaker units just pretty easily. And Ras is now almost done on board. He's going for ARAS now for the comm of Great Shrek, and T2 started for Drimmer in the west. Nobody has died. Almost 29 minutes, 28 minutes on the clock. So maybe we'll see another game where nobody dies. Maybe, maybe not. Now I feel like one game in 700 is probably going to be the average for a game where nobody dies kind of thing. But, you know, it could happen again. Who knows? I just know the game works. I don't know who wins and that sort of thing. I try to keep myself in the dark as much as possible for that regard. T3 Navy is done for Team 1's Gava Gava. No, no, that's not Gava Gava. That is actually now under the control of Drimmer, not under the control of Gava Gava. He's focused on other things. But he does have a lot of engineers to assist to produce that battleship. Still T2 Navy. I don't think that'll change much. I mean, yeah, it'll be nice for Team 1 get a nice little unit that has a nuke sub on board or a naval nuke on board. But I just don't know if it's that valuable. I feel like the cruisers might be a little bit more valuable right now. The map isn't super big. It's a 20 by 20 box, but it only covers about, I'd say, 15 to 16. Those cruisers have decent range on board. Granted, he's also producing aircraft carriers, which also help out with missile, distance. But this is just a cruiser, and that's not the exact same range, but it's pretty darn close. Lots of Team D being built in preparation for the missile spam from Team 1. We have a huge fleet of torp bombers inbound. And they're going to hunt down that little bit of cruisers from Team 1. Or they're just going to go after destroyers, one with the other. We see repairs going down for the destroyers as well. That'll be interesting to see what Team 1 does with repaired destroyer. The the aircraft carrier gets eviscerated by all those bombers. Second pass will wipe out the cruiser. And they'll overkill that thing incredibly. So the AA has pretty much been dealt with in the south, and that fleet will be forced back. Team 1 will still probably retain control, but maybe Team 2 can get some reclaim out of it at a bare minimum. Speaking of reclaim, currently on the map, 30 minutes on the clock, currently sitting at 42,000 mass total, with Team 1 at 66 and Team 2 at 42. So a little bit ahead of Team 1 for reclaim-wise, but total mass accrued, still Team 2, but just barely, and that's partially again driven by the reclaim totals for Team 1. Spy plane just gets death by 1,000 cutted by those Sky Slammers from No Red For You. Another aircraft carrier is done, and other cruisers are being produced. The other aircraft carrier is now gone, so that's the second one dead. Lots of mass being sunk into those aircraft carriers, and now we see a completed chicken. Now this might shake things up, because Team 1, I mean that's all they have for land units for the most part. Team 2, same thing. So this might be enough to maybe push in and grab maybe the main base of Hugh Janus at a bare minimum. I mean, Team 2, I think, might be fast enough to respond to that with a Albasaw bomber. So one land experimental, one air experimental. And I did not edit the symbols on board the Ythotha. I just realized, because I'm missing those experimental icons. So I will fix that after this video, because this is my mobile setup. I haven't used it in a couple months, and I forgot that I added I didn't forget that I added, I just thought I added it to this, and I did not. So I will fix that. So tomorrow's video will have that. Today's video will not, unfortunately. It only affects land units, of course, and the game enders and the the Novaks. Bombers are being thinned out, but look at all of the AA, though. Team 2 might not be able to approach that much longer. There's a lot of concentration or coagulation going down there for AA. And that chicken is riding the shoreline here. It might be trying to go nice little hook maneuver around maybe. But I don't know. That's going to give Team 2 more time to prepare. We have Team 1 Hunters down the middle going after a couple of Zooey from Team 1. We have Counter Medusa online once again. They're getting pretty close to those Salems. And some of the shots are landing pretty close to them. Looks like there's also T2 artillery mixed in there as well, a little bit further back. Some of them are being hit. Lots of Team B being pushed in to assist. And the cruisers just eviscerating bombers, as bombers are eviscerating cruisers. So there goes all those. 2 of them are dead, 2 of them remain, but there's still more inbound. And how's the bomber doing? It's in the yellow, closing in on the green. That bomber might be the saving grace, partly for Team 2's Hugh Janus. He's just going to get beat up a lot. That chicken has been spotted. And I'm assuming T1 bombers are going to be the main production. We see a couple of gunships online for no red for you. So everybody on Team 2 has T3 air. I would assume everybody on Team 1. Nope, only 2 of the 3 players have T3 air online for Team 1. That being Great Shrek and Gava Gava. We have another experimental online. It is a Monkey Lord moving in across the map from no red for you. I think that might be enough to breach this position. There's a lot of T2 PD there. There's also sniper bots there. So it's definitely not going to be an easy fight for that Monkey Lord. If it was a crab, that'd be a different story. But the Monkey Lord itself might prove to be a little bit weaker to that. Uthotha taking some damage. Gunship's not moving in just yet. And if they do, they're going to get shot at by AA anyways. So this front line is now decimated for Team 2. Not much there remaining at this point. We have some Notha fighter bombers inbound, going after the chicken. They're going to do some damage to him, but again, there's a lot of flak. There's a lot of AA in the area, so they're not going to get a second pass. They don't drop him into the yellow, but they are going to maybe shoo him away for a little bit of time. Phantom's approaching on the more southern side of the north here for Team 2. And the Monkey Lord is getting closer, but there's a couple of sniper bots here now. T2 artillery online, slowly, essentially artillery creeping. Sniper bots, again, are pretty weak, so those secondary weapon systems on board the Monkey Lord are definitely well equipped to deal with those weaker units. Second chicken online for Team 1's Drimmer. Again, he might have enough to crush this position. ASF, tons of them online for no red for you. I'm surprised they're not microing them just by 1 player. I'm surprised he's not producing more bricks or loyalists or anything to fight that incoming aggression from Team 1, but he might be focused more on, of course, going over here. Bomber is inbound. It's gone all the way around. ASFs need to move in and intercept and assist. Team 1, where's your ASF horde? I don't even see it anywhere. So was there an air fight that I wasn't aware of or something? Team 3 mobile artillery is starting to bombard the shielding for Great Shrek's position. Bomber is inbound. The shielding might collapse in time. There it goes. There are some ASFs nearby to intercept. There goes the bomber, dropping right in the middle of that base. That's going to hurt Great Shrek. He will die, that bomber. Not Great Shrek, but that is a large amount of defenses wiped offline. Ooh, almost grabs the Pigeon on its way out as well. Gunships are inbound. Nothas are inbound. I think they're going to target Great Shrek. He's standing next to Mass Fabs and Pigeons. Not a good place to stand. And there's a nuke here as well. Didn't even notice that, but that's gone. And not going after the comm, it looks like. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't know what they're going after, but they're going to wipe out the remaining main base stuff here for Team 1's Great Shrek. They might leave him alive, so that way his remaining stuff doesn't go to somebody else. But he's essentially knocked out of the game for a while now, given all the stuff that he just lost. Didn't realize he was building a nuke there. And Monkey Lord's... Oh, there he goes. Going to get some veterancy from all these mass fab kills. There he goes. Almost at 1-star vet there. We do see a Uthotha moving in to intercept said Monkey Lord. And we do see a little bit more pulling back from Team 1 in general. The bomber is down at a bare minimum, so they'll get a little bit of reclaim from that. But the army is inbound, and it's mainly just the Monkey Lord. The Monkey Lord is going to retreat anyways. I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity, to be honest with you. But, you know, they did wipe out 1 player's base of eco and whatnot, to be fair. So they are sitting pretty nice here on that northern side. Southern side, they haven't reached the main base here for Janus yet. He's producing a Monkey Lord as we speak. He does have an SMD as well, but that's not that needed now. But it might be with the nuke subs, or the sub nukes, or the naval nukes. Dang it. I can say it right, I promise. Ooh, there's another shielding, a couple of T3 mexers remaining. And I don't think it's going to be alive much longer. T3 mobile is coming in to assist as well. And T3 Max might survive. Maybe, possibly, maybe. But essentially, Great Shrek is out of the game for now. He might donated forces over to micro them. That might be a good use of APM here for him because he's still alive, so he might as well help out the best he can. The Monkey Lord has decided to go up and around and is getting caught on land. Looks like he did find a way onto the main territory. And he sees the chicken. I think he's goading the chicken to engage. Team 1 P-Gen's going down due to the long-range weapons. There is a T2 radar system as well that he could easily take out. Chicken will be goaded into the attack. Not that there's really a lot there anyways. The Monkey Lord goes, haha, I made you move, and decides to go back under the water. Southwestern side, Monkey Lord facing off against a bunch of Salems. Salems, again, they're good at long range. They're like a Monkey Lord. Monkey Lord, they're like a Fat Boy, but when you get up close and personal, they're not as good. Battleship raining shots on him. There's a chicken behind him. That's never fun. That's going to help wipe him out. There goes the Monkey Lord. Gabba Gabba finishes another experimental. So does Drimmer. Team 2 has another experimental. Chicken is now online. And it looks like an artillery piece has been started for Pineapple. So that might be Team 2's plan for long-range tech for how to end the game is just bombard the rest of what Team 1 has, which, I mean, that could work, but I don't know. Because Team 1 is kind of spread out. There's not a lot of very, very, very crucial infrastructure all in one place. So we'll see how that ends up going for them. T2, Voltu spam. Oh, that's not going to be fun for those chickens, that's for sure. And there's also whalers inbound, so it's the best of both worlds for Team 2. It's T2 and T3 gunships. Oof, that first chicken is just losing hit points incredibly quickly, and he's gone. Second chicken, same thing going to happen. There's no hope of that chicken getting anywhere home. He's going to probably crash land on top of the first chicken, to be honest. Yep, there he goes. Those are 2 chickens dead for Team 1. That's a lot of reclaim that Team 2 can scoop up. Not necessarily on their front door. Maybe it's in their yard or something, or on the street side. But it's still closer for Team 2 than this for Team 1. Tons of defenses still online in these main naval facilities. A nuke would be really nice right here, but there is an SMD and another SMD. So I highly doubt a nuke will make it through. Well, you know, who knows? SMDs might magically disappear and Team 2 launches a nuke and fires it and blows everything up. It's entirely possible. I've seen it. Doesn't mean it'll happen in this game, though. Strategic launch detected. Speaking of which, not who I thought was going to launch the nuke, but Team 1's Drimmer has launched the first nuke of the game. It is from a Plan B, probably one of the best names for a nuke sub, and there's no SMD here. Ooh, well, that's going to be a chunk of power and some X's and air facilities that are no longer going to exist here for Team 2. 34, 39, 40 seconds on the clock. Here comes the first nuke, and boom! The entire air grid is gone. Those mexes are gone. That's a lot of dead stuff. I think that nuke sub probably wiped out 60,000 mass, maybe more. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. And 63,000 mass. Did a very good job with that nuke sub, that's for sure. Another experimental, it is a crab instead of a monkey, so a lot more beefier. This monkey's gonna have to move in and assist. Either it goes for the sacrificial play, wipes out most of the hit points for the chicken, and then the crab comes in, or the crab takes most of the damage, and the Monkey Lord comes in behind and wipes out the chicken. It's definitely a very touchy play. Another chicken is down for Team 1. Those gunships are just rampaging around for Team 2. They are not stopping. That's the, what, 4th chicken that they've been involved in? 3rd chicken they've been involved in? This is definitely the 4th chicken. And the hit points just drain. Again, there's a lot more AA here than there was over there. And we have ASFs inbound. There is, again, some AA on board the whalers, and there are ASFs nearby. There's not a lot. Team 1 had to have engaged Team 2 at some point, or they just stopped producing ASFs in general, which is entirely possible. But the Monkey Lord, again, now the chicken moves. It's like, well, it can't make up its mind. What it could do is honestly go west and then south like this, and that gives time for the crab to get closer and closer, and it essentially forces the chicken to make a decision. Instead of, letting the chicken come to you, you make your forces come to it, I guess. Anyway, T3 P-Gen is targeted, looks like. It's going to wipe that out. And the Monkey Lord essentially is down. Chicken got essentially a free kill. But I think the crab should have come in a little bit sooner to really monopolize on the chicken's distractedness. This is going to be another dead experimental for Team 1, however you cut it. Team 3 land headquarters would be a nice grab. Wipes out the ability to produce T3 engineers as well. I think it wipes out the ability to produce engineers. It wipes out the ability to produce everything else. Why not T3 engineers? Southern side of the map, Team 1 is expanding like Team 2 did in the north. Another nuke is inbound. Same nuke sub. Don't know where this one is going, honestly. Looks like it might be going... that one's loaded. It's going northward. It's going for the land facilities up here, wiping out the ability for Team 2 to produce spam units. Crab is down. Chicken not really harmed, unless there was another chicken that I didn't notice. Nope, that's it. Here comes the nuke. There's a couple of P-Gens here as well, but that's, again, not a huge deal breaker for Team 2. Kaboom! Wipes out a chunk of those land forces and structures. The 110,000, so another 50-ish thousand mass killed. Done a very good job with those two naval nukes. We still have this out. Team 1's not out of it just yet. They bought a lot of breathing room, but now the artillery is online. And that's not going to help by any means. Looks like the artillery is actually targeting the naval facilities. A nuke could probably do a little bit better than that, to be honest with you. Maybe it is going for the SMDs and Team 2 has a nuke somewhere and the caster didn't notice because the caster is distracted by a bunch of other things. Entirely possible. Nope. Again, like I said, unless there's a naval nuke somewhere that I haven't noticed. Well, it looks like it is trying to land on those facilities nonetheless. Well, that one's going to overshoot it, but, almost wipes out a T3 Max, so that's something, I guess. In the south, we have SACU Rambo presets running around. Actually, those aren't Rambo. Those are just regular RASCOMs. Again, engineers scooping up reclaim as much as possible. Team 2, 1.5. The Team 1's 850. Total reclaim amounts 150 to 100,000. So Team 1 in the lead there, but Team 2 definitely in the lead for total mass accrued and generated eco per second at 1.6k. And that's probably going to start showing in their mass spamming of either SACUs, either RAS or otherwise. Maybe no second artillery, but that one is going to help out a little bit. It's kind of hard to shield naval structures in generally. There goes the cruiser. Facility is being repaired, but again, I guess it's not super important that Team 2 wipes that out, but it would be nice to wipe out all of that tech no matter what, to be fair. There's no backup facility. And once you wipe them out, and that's it, they have to rebuild it, and it takes a minute. But Team 1 has already conquered the southwestern, pond, as well as a portion of the southern land as well. We have another chicken inbound, another chicken behind that. We have a Monkey Lord that has still been able to be shot at by the chicken. Somehow, its head is sticking out. And multiple missile strikes from all of these cruisers down in the bay there. One nuke could blow up a ton of those things. We have a battleship being killed up by an artillery piece. Always a first time for everything, I guess. Jimmer finishes in another experimental. I'm assuming it's another chicken. Janus finishes an experimental. I'm assuming it's another monkey. Yes, it is. Crab is going to start for him. And we have a nice little exclusion zone for Team 2. They're not landing anything nearby. And Monkey Lord is finally down in the little bay there. A little bit of pausing of the game. Team 2 being pushed back significantly on the northeastern corner. Or at least the northeastern corner of the landmass. We do see a lot of gunships stacked up. We shall see what they end up doing with that. I don't know if they'll engage or not. There are some lightning tanks starting to run around, so the gunship's going to be a little bit less effective. And with Team 2's No Red Field losing that air grid a while ago, I don't think he's producing that many more ASFs, or even just gunships for that matter. He does have T3 Navy, so there is that. Chickens are inbound for the base. There's a chicken and a Monkey missiles inbound. They are going to miss. Lovely attempt, though. They shoot a little bit further to the behind of the chicken. Chicken v chicken. Monkey going to come and engage. Monkey Lord is going to be focused down by the chickens. Monkey Lord is going to focus on the weaker chicken. Definitely a smart move there. The first chicken will be killed off before the actually after the death of the Monkey Lord. But now the crab is done for Team 2, and that chicken's going to give that other chicken a hug, and it doesn't matter what happens because that chicken's going to die to the chicken, and the other chicken's going to die to that chicken. It's going to just be a murder-suicide fest over there. There goes the Ion Storm. Oh, maybe it might get out of there just in time, but again, it's already heavily damaged, 3,000 hit points, and that's about it. So there's really not a lot here for Team 1 to use anyways. Gunships might be moving in to kill off that chicken. There's also a crab there for Team 1 behind it. It's retreating as we speak. Team 1 doing a very good job of pushing back. We have a little bit of a tight, slight run-by from all of these Zui from Gava Gava. Wiping out a T3 Max, wiping out a couple of AA installations. Something is better than nothing. And it looks like more P-Gens. Looks like another artillery piece started for Team 2's Pineapple. Don't know if he's starting a third one yet, or if he has one started somewhere else. Looks like that's just the only one. Pushback in the northeast going pretty well here for Team 1. The base is essentially gone. There's still remnants, but not like it once was moments ago. And at 47 minutes on the clock, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Again, Team 2, 1.6k. Team 1, 850 mass per second. So a significant lead for Team 2, almost doubling that of Team 1's at 47 minutes. I know it's a little bit later in the game where I do these little kind of mid-game halftime recap show things. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win. Of course, if you haven't done so already, because again, why not at this point? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see not all of you in this one. I went into my like end of the video. Not mantra, but it's just rote, just like, just pattern, muscle memory. This chicken probably needs to just essentially engage because there's 4 experimentals here. You might as well just try to do as much damage. I think some of the missiles actually did hit that chicken. First chicken is dead. Strat bombers inbound. There's a lot of them, in fact, and there goes that second chicken almost. I think it will die to the Ion Storm of the first chicken. Yep, there it goes. Third chicken is now being targeted. I think the ASFs are fleeing to get up for a second attack. Artillery still launching. No red for use bait. Not red, but Janus's base is now gone. But it did do its job. He stood a very long time, to be fair, just like that other match we casted in, I think it was last week or something. I don't know why the Strat Bombers had such a big turnaround. Dang. Thought I saw a Scathus being built up there. And chicken is gone. And gunship's going after that Megalith in the range of the Ion Storm. That's never fun. Or I think maybe it's not in, it's barely not in. One shield around the artillery piece definitely needs a lot more. Chicken is almost done. Ion Storm is fading out here shortly, but we'll do a little bit more damage before it's in. I'm surprised the bombers haven't just gone in and wiped out the other Megalith at this point. There's also 2 more chickens inbound. We have gunships inbound as well. Team 1's thrown a lot of mass down there, and they definitely have to reclaim it all because Team 2 is going to scoop that all up and continue to spread that apart. Did not mean to click on that. It's doing all of the wrong things today for some reason. Maybe because I'm just out of it because I was flying a huge part of the day today and whatnot, so that might just be jet lagged a little bit. Ythotha dropping decently quickly. Crab is not really there. Transports are going to do something. That... Oh, there goes everything of that chicken, I guess. Nuke is inbound. It's going to nuke the main base. Team 2 doesn't have an SMD in the base. Oh, no. Oh, that's not good. This nuke might be the most important nuke of the game here for Team 1. Nuke is inbound, a secondary one from Team 1 as well. Ooh, but there's no SMD. There's a crab being built down there for Janus, and he notices it way too late. Can't get out of range. Oh, that's almost the entire air grid. That's the Calm of Pineapples. First kill of the game, 50 minutes on the clock. And where is that? Oh, where's the other nuke as well? Did it go this way? Oh, it went this way, but it's going to land. The SMD wasn't loaded. Oh, man, and a chunk of the ASFs are dead as well. So that's not good. Losing a bunch of air and losing a huge portion of the air grid, that's not good for Team 2. Team 1 has turned this around quite nicely. That was their plan B, and their plan B worked. The nice moves there. Those 2 nukes might be the most important nukes of the game. Where are those? Where are those bombs? Where are those nuke subs at? Well, there's that one. He's at 181,000. What's the other one, though? I hear strap bombers constantly launching payloads. We have hover tech spam along the eastern side here going against new ready for use position. No, that's a bunch of spy planes, or air scouts just flying around. I don't see the... I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in there. I don't know. It's a mystery. Maybe it died somehow. Who knows? It's weird because I don't know where it is, but I'm focusing on it too much. So I probably should focus on something else. Land invasion still occurring. Team 2 trying to plug the holes, but at this point, with one dead player and a lot of their infrastructure decimated, an artillery piece probably is not going to do it at this point. Northeastern side, I think they've stabilized a little bit, but again, there's a lot more momentum in Team 1's direction at this point. And again, this is what Team 1 can see. And this is what Team 2 can see. So they haven't known a lot of what Team 1's been up to for a while now. At least in the more back line. Of Great Shark, Shrek, so I knew I'd say it at some point. Missiles inbound. Looks like I might be trying to snipe that. Either monkey, not monkey, but the Euthotha or the crab. Looks like it's going for the Euthotha, but it will miss. Lovely attempt, though. It's really hard to hit a moving target that far away. But again, like I said, lovely attempt. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, it's on board the battleship. That's why I couldn't find it. 202,000 mass. Somebody was probably like, it's on the sub. It's on the sub. And the SMD was built. The SMD is now loaded. And the death of Janus is soon to come to pass. And there's a bunch of SACUs there with all of them. Ooh. Oh, there goes another nice naval nuke. 372, 2 nukes, 370,000 mass on board. Devastating amounts of damage done by those naval nukes for Team 1. And that's going to be a 3v1 in Team 1's favor. Team 1 has not lost a player yet, but at this point I don't think they will lose one. 53 minutes on the clock. Laser started on board. Team 2 is no red for use comm. He might go for telemaser. Another nuke inbound. It's going to be, again, a slow demise of Team... Actually, not maybe a slow demise, a very explosive demise to Team 2. SMD is not loaded, so that will also land. There it goes. Ooh, gets a spy plane in the passing in, but boom. Another chunk of the air grid gone, and that's the T3 air headquarters. Actually, still not dead. It survived 2 nukes somehow. Look at that little like black spot down there. Look at that nonsense. That's a ton of dead SACUs. Missiles are hitting the chicken. Almost kills off the chicken. Only has about 1,000 or so hit points remaining. Hovertech inbound. Everything being sent to the northeast. Laser's still progressing. It's probably going to finish. I don't think he'll get teleporter done in time, though. So like I said, that might be the end of the game for Team 2 right there. Unless he can kill all of the remaining players for Team 1, but they're all underwater, so I highly doubt it. He needs a trifecta. Well, he's going to go for gun. And there is an artillery piece done here for him as well. I just don't think that'll help at this point, due to all of the everything that Team 1 has taken out. Artillery is targeting this base up here, but again, Team 1 didn't rely a lot on air. They actually relied a lot on Navy, and it seemed like Navy was the little bit more that Team 1 needed, specifically the nukes, of course. The nukes were absolutely devastating for Team 2. Chicken is inbound, and gun is done on board the comm. Is he going to go anywhere is the question. 55 minutes and climbing. Gunship's trying to slow down the advance, but this is the last thing that Team 2 really has. Once the artillery piece is gone, that's pretty much it. Mass FAF farm's going to be taken out. P-gens are going to be taken out. Not much is going to remain for Team 2. Chicken is down. Second chicken's about to go down. Third chicken's about to go down. And again, it's just delaying the inevitable at this point. But he's going to try to live to fight another day. He might teleport out of there. 57 minutes almost on the clock. I am, like I said, surprised that he hasn't left yet. Just because it's not going to work. But, you know, I do like the fact that his tenacity is still going with it nonetheless. He's like, nope, I will die by explosion or I will win. Those are his two options at this point. Not the third option of just teleporting and fighting another day kind of thing. Well, maybe he might leave. Who knows? His base down here, the remaining stuff down there goes, and that goes. That might be it. And I slowed things down, and it got super slow. So the attack is inbound. 2 more chickens inbound. He still hasn't teleported out yet. We have gunships inbound. Those gunships have really been proving very effective for Team 2. But that's a lot of flak nonetheless. Look at that nonsense. Look at it all. Look at all of that nonsense. Good luck existing under the hail of those, reverse hail storms. That's nuts. There goes the Monkey Lord. The Monkey Lord's down. And with that, that's the end of the base. The artillery piece is going to go down momentarily. The P-gens and everything else are going to blow up. Teleporter has started, but it's way too late. He's going to lose all of his power, and he won't be able to build the thing anyway. Nope, he's canceling it. He's going for stealth. He's going to try to go for cloaking, but I think that's even too late as well. Yeah, he's lost pretty much all of his P-gens. This is what he has left. He has some positive, but not by much. And there he goes. He control Ks. Team 1 wins the game. 58 minutes, 47 seconds on the clock. I do think MVP goes to Drimmer for the naval nukes. I mean, both the Plan B and the Hathum T3 battleship were very instrumental. Wiped out a huge chunk of stuff to Team 2. And just the constant pressure on the South from Drimmer definitely helped out. There was assistance, of course, from Gava Gava and Navy earlier on, which was nice to see. And yes, it did come down to Team 1 having a little bit more Navy than Team 2 having a little bit more air. So that's how the game works. And sometimes the air wins and sometimes the Navy wins. But, it's just, like I said, how it goes. Thank you so much for watching to the very end of the video. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And now I will see all of you in the next one.